Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of the United Show. It's your boy Beeks, and we are back in the building. Yo, you lot must be thinking, rah, Bobs is not hosting. Carl Bob's had to do something. You get me? He's got to do a little personal thing, but don't worry, he'll be listening, he'll be tuning in. But listen, another week, it's another special week. This is a fantastic week for the United fans all in all. But before we dive into it, I'm going to introduce my co-host and a special guest alongside. Please, Rachel, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Just same old stuff. Well, not really same old in terms of the Twitter world, but in terms of personal life, yeah, same old.
Same old, same old. So long as you're all well and good,
Yeah.
that's all important. Man like Spice, what you telling me, my bro? What you telling me? What you telling me?
How's everyone? First of all, guys, welcome to this episode because it's gonna about to get peak right now in terms of emotions. But I'm good, man. It's been an interesting week. That's what I have to say. It's just really been an interesting week. But I've been keeping myself sane.
Of course, we have to keep ourselves sane and we have to keep ourselves, you know, ready. Gotta be always ready. And obviously, we've got a special guest. We got man like Owen in the cup. How you been, bro? How you been?
Joe, I'm not too bad, but I fell asleep yesterday at 6:30 after I came in from work. So I missed everything last night. So I woke up, I had about 400 notifications from WhatsApp on my phone. I had however many DMs asking me what I thought about Woodward. My phone went off this morning. It was a beaut. I felt amazing all day today, but gutted I missed the announcement last night, to be honest.
So I'm not gonna lie, man. This is a moment to ask everyone where you were. Like obviously, Owen, you said like you were asleep, which is unfortunate, but these things happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rachel, where was you when the news broke that Ed Woodward was signing out and he was resigning as his post as the as the vice chairman of Manchester United?
I was ordering KFC.
What? Wait, we're all dying to know this one. What were you ordering? Were you getting a box meal? Were you just getting?
No, you know what? I was with my parents and my brothers, and we all just wanted something because the kitchen's being done, so we couldn't make anything. And it was really funny actually. It started off with ordering KFC, ended up with people wanting McDonald's, and then what ended up happening was the order for the KFC wasn't cancelled, so we ended up having both, and we still have chicken left over. But that's basically what was happening while
That's a good morning, man. You wake up and get lunch, man.
Like a bucket, and it had like chicken strips and the popcorn chicken, and it was a lot of food.
The chicken is stacked. Okay, we see where you were. We see Spice. Where was you? What was happening with you when the news broke out?
I was with my boy, doing what boys do, up to mischievous things, And then looking at my phone, I just see notification, and then of course when I saw the first notification, I didn't feel like it was real, Then I had to go and check on Sky Sports, and then it was getting real. And then my boy sent me a picture of a screenshot on Twitter saying that, "Wow, man, like Woodward wants to resign." I'm like, praise the Lord. And now when I tell people there is a God, there is a God, And this is signs of there is a God. We've been praying for 6-7 years for him to get out. It comes, God rewards you, but you have to be patient.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. You're absolutely right. Look, I'll tell you where I was. I was, unaware of it. I was in the gym, so my phone was popping off. So the moment I see the news come out that he's resigned, I think I was doing chest. I just put more weights on, and I was like, "Thank you, God!" I could not believe what was happening. And you know what? I know we're all happy and whatnot, but I guess there's pros and cons. But before we dive into it, this whole Super League thing, I mean, for the past 72 hours, it's caused mayhem into the football world. And the fact that us fans, all the football fans have united to make sure that this didn't happen is absolutely fantastic. Owen, I'm going to come to you, man. In terms of this, ESL situation and whatnot, what was your thoughts when it got announced? I mean, it got announced during the United game when we were playing on Sunday against Burnley. What was your thoughts on it? Because obviously we're watching it and Gary Neville's commentating. He's not happy. It was kind of like a shock, man. Yeah, tell us your thoughts, bro.
Joe, I was just I was kind of devastated because I felt like I'd lost the one thing I know obviously I've been very lucky in terms of my parents, everything my whole life, but that sort of one extracurricular thing that's always been a constant in my life. You know, that one sort of leisure that's always been a constant. I've had going to Old Trafford since I was a kid with my old band. And I just kind of felt like that was gone and it was going to be tarnished forever. And because it came out sort of during the first half and I just couldn't enjoy the second half. I celebrated the goals, but it just didn't feel the same anymore. And I just remember seeing Gary Neville's rant after the game, and he was bang on in saying that they're bottle jobs because that's completely proven Gary Neville right. Because the second it's got backlash, you see the protests outside Chelsea, you see the protests outside Leeds, you see everything on social media. The second it's got bad reviews, they've backtracked on it straight away. I think it's only Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus that are left. So it's just it was a whirlwind of emotions. I was depressed Monday and Tuesday, and I've been as happy as Larry today. I've been walking around my office this morning with an absolute beaming smile from ear to ear, making coffee in the kitchen. I've been absolutely gleeful today, but the past 2 days have been pretty shit before that. So whirlwind of emotions, but it's good to be hopefully at the end of it. And now this is the start, and hopefully we're going to work towards getting these leeches out of our club.
100%, Ovi. I do understand where you're coming from, and you're not the only one who was feeling that way. I'm sure all of us were feeling that way. I'm going to go to Rachel because obviously me and Rachel had a discussion before anyone came on and we're talking about this. And, you know, we all know how Rachel is going to be very, very straight to the point. She ain't going to beat around the bush. So, Rachel, how do you feel about this? I mean, we know that obviously the ESL has now been, disbanded and whatnot, even though it didn't even begin. In terms of Ed Woodward leaving now, do you have hope in terms of for our club, or for us to get our club back? Or are you just going to, sit on a fence and just watch and see how things unfold?
I read a report earlier saying that the Glazers wanted him to stay and that he felt it was the right time to resign for his own personal reasons. So what worries me is that the next person to fill Ed Woodward's role is going to be Glazer picked, obviously, and probably won't be focusing on the football aspect of things. Well, won't have experience with the football aspect of things and probably have a big say in it regardless, kind of like Ed Woodward. That's the only thing I'm worried about. That's why we need the Glazers gone as well. Like, it's a nice thing, not being able to see Ed Woodward's face on our screens when we're playing matches. Like, no one's happy when that happens. But I am worried about who they're going to replace him with and what their role will be and how they will handle that role. I just want the Glazers gone as well. If the Glazers go, then we're partying. Right now, it's pre-drinks, as I've said on Twitter.
I heard that. That's true. That's true.
I love that analogy.
It's true. It is pre-drinks because we're just thinking, all right, cool, man. Like, we're not at the club yet. Everyone's there. Everyone's just warming up. All right, cool. Let's get to the club now. Get to the club. You see someone you don't really want to be seeing there. So I get that. I understand that. Look, Spice, your take on this, man, because obviously Owen and Rachel have said their piece in terms of how they feel about it. What was going through your mind when the whole situation with the ESL came out during our game against Burnley?
Well, at first, of course, I went through a lot of emotions now. So when that news first broke out, it wasn't a surprise to me because this was in the talks, in the making for so many years. So when the news finally broke out, I was like, okay, so they really, really want to do this European Super League. And then I'm hearing the word breakaway. And the word breakaway was very key in the whole thing because it meant leaving our domestic league and doing something else, doing a Pro Evolution version of Master Leagues, So when I heard that news, I was like, wow, shocking. And then as the days went forward and a couple of hours went forward and then the very next day, I started seeing Gary Neville's rant. I saw everyone getting together, protesting, etc. And one thing I would like to say, which I like to highlight, remember this, is it's lovely when everyone gets together and makes things happen. You see what we can do when we get together. Remember that, because when I saw all of this, I was like, wow, it's nice that everyone's getting riled up and getting angry over football. That's nice. Yeah, but I wish it was the same energy that I saw when it came to the whole equality, the whole racism thing. Like, I know it's irrelevant, but sometimes there is a bit of relevancy in this because the energy that I saw from Gary Neville, from the studios, from every single studio, from to BT Sport, the outrage, it's disgusting. But I was like, why was it a subtle tone when we spoke about racism? The whole thing when we spoke about racism, everyone sat down, legs over their lap, hands on the hips, and saying that soft light in this type of tone. I think it's disgusting that people still get racially abused by the color of their tone. But as soon as you hear about football, you're hearing Gary Neville going, "It's actually disgrace." I know he didn't swear, but that's how I heard. That's how it went down.
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
like,
for real.
rage and everything. And then you got people saying using the word greediness. And I'm there thinking, okay, you're not going to get to me with the word greediness because you look at Sky Sports, you're like, how dare you? Who are you to say the word greedy? Because you look at you charge people almost £50 to watch football. You don't even show Champions League football, let alone the WWE. Like, come on, like, maybe La Liga. But you increase the prices and you don't really give value for money.
No.
You look at UEFA, talking about greed, yeah? You sold TV broadcasting rights to BT Sport to the highest bidder and forgot about those people that don't really have Sky Sports, that can't afford cable and that used to watch the Champions League on ITV on at least one game on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. They're greedy. And then you've got UEFA as well using the words like, we will ban players that gets involved. And I'm like, where's the whole energy for that when it came to racism? But so like, now that this thing's not happening, I felt like, right, it's a bit irrelevant. But I love the way when you come together, you can make things happen. I wish it was the same thing. I just wish it was the same thing.
No, I hear you, Spice. And you know what it is, yeah? And I'm not even I'm not doing this DA thing when it comes to racism. The only thing I'll say is that it's mad. The reason why they're, riding up is because it's going to affect their pockets.
Exactly.
The thing with racism, it doesn't affect their pockets. But I get why you're mentioning it because there is some sort of relevancy. And unfortunately, these men are not going to put that same energy that they had with the whole ESL team with racism because it doesn't pay them. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get where I'm coming from? Exactly. So that in itself is kind of upsetting. Now, you mentioned obviously with the TV rights and whatnot, we're getting bumped and whatnot. Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to lead into now in terms of like punishments and whatnot. Obviously, clubs have come out and they've said, look, listen, we put our hands up and we apologize. Now, Owen, like, how do you feel with all the apologies? I mean, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, you guys are apologizing not because you didn't want it to happen, but you're apologizing because this thing fell through. Now, I don't know how you see it, but I mean, we've seen, what's his name, John Henry come out with his apology and saying, I'm really sorry about, with that soft voice of it.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. And then you got our Glazers, the Pussios over there, writing a statement. I mean, Owen, you must have been livid when you saw that because when that popped up, I know my blood was boiling and I just wanted to know.
Nah, to be honest, mate, I'm not surprised at this point, to be honest. They're little fucking cowards. They're chilling out on their ranch in Tampa Bay or whatever the fuck they're doing. I mean, I don't even know at this point. They're just... I'm not surprised by anything that they do. They have no understanding of this club. In terms of the punishment, it shouldn't be to the clubs. It should be directed at those owners. It should be direct fines to those owners, to JW Henry, to Roman Abramovich, to Joel Glazer. Every one of them should be fined directly because it's them that's done it through the medium of the club, yes, but the club's not involved. It's nothing to do with, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or whoever is in charge of any other club. It's nothing to do with them, nothing to do with those players. They shouldn't be punished as a result of it. It should be those in charge who orchestrated this. All of them should be fined and banned from football. That's what should happen.
No, I hear you. And that absolutely so. And, Rachel, we were talking about it again before we even went live in terms of, the sanction that we might receive from the Big Six. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, because we could get, obviously, I know what you feel about it, but to let the people know, there could be possible point deduction in terms of maybe 12, 15. What's your take on that? What do you think their punishment should be as well?
I think that if you're going to deduct points from the teams, I think they should be proper deductions. So I would say 50 points, as in 50, not 15.
Do you know how?
No, you know what? No, because this is the way I see it, right? I don't know how many points City are in front of the top 4, like as in like 5th place, but it's at least 15, isn't it? 14 or 15. You deduct those points from City, they're still in watch out of going into the Champions League anyway. If you're going to deduct the points, punish them properly.
If you deduct 15 points of City, they'd still be second.
That is crazy, bro.
So when they were saying like 12 points for teams that were, what was it? They went into an administration or what it was? Was it 12 points? Right. Yeah. Okay. So it needs to be more than that. It needs to be 50. Get them out of Europe for the next season. If you're going to deduct points, punish them.
Relegating everyone, to be honest.
Right. Okay. What about this though? Would you be happy with? None of you guys can play in the Champions League or Europa League for 2 seasons.
No, because let's be real. It's not the club's fault. It's not the players' fault. It's not the staff fault. They were not their fault. They were no. The only people that should actually be punished is the owners who sat down and discussed things privately. Yeah. You like Aaron said, the Glazers, the Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward should be telling Ed Woodward, you're not proper fit for purpose. You should resign. The FA should be telling Joe Glazer, you are not proper fit for purpose in terms of for owning this club because of what you guys did. You guys should be fined, and you should also be looking to sell the club. Same as Abramovich, same as everyone else.
If they're fined, right, would they not just use Manchester United's money to pay the fine?
No, they should personally get fined. They should personally get fined, and of course, it shouldn't come from Manchester United's books. It should come from their own personal pockets. I know.
But when a footballer gets done, you've seen it before when they get done for gambling, like I've seen it with Joey Bart and Kieran Trippier. When they get done from gambling, they are banned from all footballing activity for a certain period of time. That is what should happen to all of these owners. They should be banned from footballing activity for 24 months or however long. That's what should happen.
Well, that's the dream, isn't it?
Well, like I said, in this case, it's not the players' fault. It's not the coach's fault. It's not the manager's fault in all those respective teams. It's not their fault. They were in the dark. They didn't know nothing. It's the owners, the people at the board level who decided to go do this. They are the ones that should be punished. I don't think it's fair to just say that Manchester United shouldn't be in the Champions League for next season because it didn't go ahead. It didn't go ahead.
No, I hear that.
They tried.
They proposed it, and it didn't go out well.
Yeah, but if you're messaging someone, that's still cheating, mate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're
got me there.
Your other half,
got me there.
Messaging someone else, that's still cheating.
Honestly speaking, that's still cheating.
To be fair, when teams go into administration and get deducted points, it's not the fans that ask for that. As Beeks said, like when we were speaking before, it's not the fans that ask for it. It's not the players that ask for it. It's not the managers who are, cheating or whatever they're doing that cause them to go into administration. Yeah. It's not them, but they're still deducted points, and it will cost them in the next season and cause
exactly. And this is what. Thank you, Rach, for bringing it up. And this is what I was saying. I hear what everyone's saying, but if these men are still going to be owning the club, the best way to do that is to affect them by deducting them points because they know it's going to cost them financially in the long run. So that's what we have to understand. These men are the same men that just care about money. So if I find them, like everyone has said, they're going to use it on the books regardless, right? Either you do that or you say, all right, cool. If that's how you might want to move, all right, cool. We're going to deduct points. And you're going to get a hefty fine. And this is how it's going to go down. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? But I get where everyone's coming from. We don't even know what type of sanctions the clubs are going to get. But
they're not praying that the club doesn't get punished. I'm praying that the owners get punished and get kicked out.
You have to remember as well, like if the top 6 aren't in the Champions League next season, who loses the most money here?
I hear that, man. It's true.
So they're not going to get banned from the Champions. As much as I would like to see them all get deducted points and be punished for what's happened, they're not going to do it because the top 6 are basically the Premier League in terms of money. Exactly. And that's all that matters.
And if the top 6 are not in the Champions League, how likely are people in the UK going to be watching the Champions League this season? They will watch the other teams, but who was turned on to watch who's there? That's running. Leicester or West Ham in the Champions League. None of you really want to be keen on that.
I mean, I'd still watch it, but a lot of people won't. No, I watch all the
Leicester are going to be in the Champions League this year. West Ham possibly could be in the Champions League this year. It's not out of the realms of possibility that both Leicester and West Ham are in the Champions League.
But anyway, are you going to be getting up, rushing from work on Tuesday at 7 o'clock to get to home to 8 o'clock to say, I need to watch West Ham play? Just because it's the sake of you loving football.
At the same time, so I'll probably be rushing home regardless.
Just saying, we all love football here, but I wouldn't really be tuning in to watch West Ham play.
I hear that. I do understand that, and you know,
mate, watching Mark Noble line out of the Newcastle.
No way.
I'm not gonna lie.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie. See West Ham playing in the Champions League midweek, Stratford, and they're playing maybe the likes of Juventus or something. Absolutely, I'm not gonna lie. As an East Ender, to see that, I'm like, you know what? Kudos, fair play to West Ham.
I hope
you would buy a season ticket. No,
I'll go there. I'll go and buy these just to watch that. I'm like, yo, Hammers, yeah, shout out to the Hammers. But you know what? Look, I get what everyone's saying, man. The punishment, I don't know how it's going to go down. Obviously, they're saying that the rest of the remaining 14 clubs, they've got together to say, look, listen, the 6 that actually did what they did should be punished. So, what punishment are you going to give them? I don't know what punishment everyone's going to get, but I feel like I'm not trying to be biased because I know it's the United show, but the teams like Man United and Man City and Chelsea and Liverpool, to an extent, I think they're calm. But you see Arsenal and Spurs, right? Whatever happens, bro, it is absolutely long for them. Because I don't know what they were thinking when they said, you know what? Let's be part of the Super League. It didn't make any sense. What were they smoking? What, they got invited.
Some good weed.
They went, yeah, you know what? We're part of the elite, And now they've backed out. They're gonna suffer hard, and I really wish they go into liquidation because I really hate them. But yeah, guys, listen. At the end of the
love that.
hate that. But listen,
a bit harsh.
Love it. Love the Arsenal slander.
I hate Arsenal so much.
And
I'm
all up
these man, Arsenal fans, they know. I hate them. If they ended up like, maybe
mate, they're just irrelevant now, though. So like,
I'm more in the boat of pitying them, to be honest with you.
I don't pity them.
I don't pity them. They're just irrelevant.
Pity Arsenal fans. They had the audacity to call us shit when we was going through better years than them. So like, I have no.
That's actually true.
Right, we've got a comment here. We've got Harsh Stiff. Big up. I'm gonna call you. Ready? Big up you. The best sanction that can be imposed on them is to strip controls of the owners and hand them back to the fans with somebody put in charge, who will oversee the club rather than bleeding it out dry. Now, what do you guys think about that? Because obviously,
it's not feasibly possible, but yeah, it's a great idea.
I've seen people say they'll
go to court and they just won't allow it to happen. Like that's not.
No, it's true. It's true. I've seen people talk about how buying Munich's clubs around with the 50 plus
German
one.
clubs, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but Leipzig had a loophole. They're not owned that way.
No, they're not, and that's
I think it just
set prices for it. Yeah.
You see, so I don't know whether that'll be possible. I just want proper owners, to be honest. I don't want people like Glazers and whatnot. I mean, we've been screaming for this for a very, very long time. Will the change happen overnight? Of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but obviously, this has had an effect, some sort of domino effect, in order for it to happen. And the rumors are that one of the 6 who entered the Super League who are now out is that one of them has been potentially thinking of selling the club. Hopefully, it's us.
It's our team.
You know what I'm saying? I can't see it. I can't see it being Spurs, and I can't see it. Well, I can see Arsenal in a way, but
I can only see. I'll be very honest. I can only see it being Manchester United because Chelsea are not looking to sell. Abramovich is not selling. Sheikh Mansour is not selling. Tottenham or Levy that will negotiate you the hell out of you to get a good fee. He ain't selling. It's gonna be us because, as you can see right now, Ed Woodward's letter of resignation. Joe Glazer knows that nobody likes him now. The whole world hates him. So he's probably thinking, I may have to sell, because I don't think I could ever reconstruct the relationship that I had with other CEOs of other Premier Leagues. No, not that he cares, because he probably doesn't care. Same as Ed Woodward, his relationship with other Premier League teams are now tarnished. Also with UEFA, and I'm still shocked that he actually had a role in UEFA. That to have a role in UEFA, because he resigned as well. A lot of people resign from their roles in UEFA. To have a role in UEFA, you must know some football, you know. And you don't know football, so it must be on the money side.
No, it's just his role in United that he got it. That's not like.
Yeah, I don't think it was a footballing reason he was there.
I mean, it's a footballing reason. They weren't like, they didn't give him a quiz on like football history, and they're like,
it definitely probably to do with financial.
Like, you're good with money, so here you go.
How do you make your way for richer?
£100 a year.
But that money's talking loud.
I can only see it being Manchester United because Edward, like I said, he's ruined his trust with UEFA. He's ruined his trust with the Premier League, same as Joe Glazer and everything. How can they ever be involved with the UEFA committee ever again, or the FA or the Premier League committee? Because people need to trust you.
Mm.
I know.
Now you've broken that trust.
I know it's easy to say it could be Man United. At the same time, it could be FSG as well.
FSG,
it could be them as well, because them and we know how Liverpool fans are. Like them and to the core. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they will make sure whatever it takes to drive their motherfuckers out of their club. It could be them, but I really hope it's not them. I hope they suffer too.
I hope
but I do hope it's the Glazers. Whether it happens or not, I'm not too sure. Another comment here. We got a man from, I'm going to call you Williams. Big up Williams. No serious sanctions should be imposed. If the Prem know what's right, then man should impose a fine. End of. The value will go down if the team gets relegated. What's your take on that, guys? Man is saying that those sanctions should be imposed. Now, I know Rachel, you did say something along the lines, but just the fine? Like, are we happy with that? Just the fine? I mean, they could easily do this again.
They can't ban them from Europe or anything like that. They can't stop them from doing the things that will make the Premier League and money. That's the thing. And we know it's all about money.
It is all about money.
So what are they going to do? That's what I'm saying. They won't do the whole, 100-point deduction. They won't get them relegated. They won't do anything like that. They won't kick them out of the league. They won't ban them from the Champions League because it's about money.
There's too many people to kick out. A Premier League without the top 6 now. Boy, I don't know what that will be.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what that will be.
Exactly.
We will never know what they were going to do.
Making a top 4 challenge.
Right. We will never know what they're going to, because remember, they will put in threats like, well, if you go there, your players won't be able to play internationally. Yeah. If you do this, well, you're not going to be able to play in Champions League. You can't come back in the Prem. Like, all of these threats were being imposed, and now we will never know, whether it was.
I don't think they would have imposed them, because for them to have the balls to come out and say what they said, if there was no outrage from the fans, they would have been able to beat UEFA. That's what they believed. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it the way they did it. The audacity to come out the way they did, so confident, and then Perez to do that bloody interview. Did you hear some of the things he was saying? Or read it.
He must be off his fucking tits. He sounded like a guy on cocaine in a nightclub. That's what he sounded like.
He's moving like one of them mans from Snowfall. I don't know if you man have watched that.
Oh, I watched that.
Jesus Christ. Listen, the way he was talking. Man said 16 to 24-year-olds do not even watch football like that. I said, what? Is this guy? Then he was saying we should decrease the time of a football match. To what?
What, to 60 minutes?
60 minutes? What do you think this is?
With 3 quarters or 4 quarters, 15 minutes a quarter or something like that.
It's very American.
Americanized.
Yeah.
Well, there was talk about that a few years ago in terms of doing that, because there was actually like a bit of a science behind it, in terms of every time the ball would go out of play, they'd stop the clock. So that was the whole thing in terms of the ball being in play. It was something less than 30 minutes. So it was to sort of do it like that. That was talked about a few years ago, and it got thrown out the window straight away.
Yeah, that has to get thrown out. I don't even know what that is, man. But I'm so happy that ESL thing didn't go through, because can you imagine, like, we'll be watching a game and you get an advert at the bottom of your screen just pop up.
American stuff.
You're missing the thing and it just comes up. And you're thinking, what the hell is this? Someone's taking a corner in that.
You're going to hear this guy call. Geico.
That's what you're gonna
Wow.
hear.
You know, they minimize the screen. They split the screen.
Yeah,
Split the
Geico.
screen. You can't even hear what's going on. Bun all that, man. I'm not even trying to hear all that. But listen, it hasn't happened. You know, we thank God that it's not happening. But it's the repercussions, it's the consequences that these teams are gonna want to be. You know, they're gonna have to face.
No, but the thing is, yeah, they haven't really committed the crime. You know, they had the intention to commit a crime, so they
But
shouldn't.
again,
Really
like always said, you had
Attempted murder. You go down.
Like, babes, like, I be like, babes, I didn't cheat though. Like, I know I swear, I didn't cheat
Put it in a different
though.
context as opposed to a stupid relationship one.
Yeah,
In terms of murder and attempted murder, you still get done for attempted murder in a court of law.
Yes.
Still, the same logic applies.
Think of it as a pirate mutiny. Whenever there's a mutiny, right, and it fails, the guy who was in charge of it has to walk the plank.
100%.
And United's owners, all those big clubs, just because they failed at it or because they didn't have the balls to stay in it, they still tried to do it. Let them walk the plank. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, let the owners walk the plank. Let them take the ball. But the players in the club, no, come on.
Yeah,
it's
but
not their fault.
Unfortunately, they're just collateral damage.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
that
every other club that's gone through this sort of thing where they've had points deducted or they've been punished for something the owners or the board has done, why is it different because these clubs are bigger? It has to be equal for everyone.
It's got to be equal, man. Because you have to look like I was saying to Rachel, you have to look at teams like Birmingham City and them, man. Like when points were getting deducted for them, it's not. They're thinking, yo, but we didn't do anything. No, but your owners did that. Your club, so and they're the owners, so they know what they were doing. So therefore, you're gonna suffer the consequences. Sorry, take it or leave it. And again, like Rachel said, what should we, have a blind eye because we're bigger clubs? I mean, we need to be fair when it comes to these type of sanctions, whatever sanctions that they give us, man. Spice, I hear what you're saying. The owners, they're the ones that should be, going through the consequence. They're the ones that should be facing the consequence. However, unfortunately, because it's the club that they own, and they were trying to take the club that they own to another club, to another league, and use it to benefit them and benefit their pockets. Well, that club's still going to have to suffer. Like Rachel said, it's collateral damage, and unfortunately, this is what's going to happen. Man City and them, man, are quaking in their boots because they don't know what's going to happen. Look, if Man City can do the thing when they lawyered up, they have bare man lawyered up. And if they can do it and help all of us out, then we're cool, man. We'll be all right, man.
Yeah, man, they're lawyered up, man. They're gonna send us some lawyers as well. And Manchester United's got the best lawyers as well, so they can get out the situation if they can. They really can. I just don't know about Arsenal and Tottenham.
Man United have the best lawyers, man. That's not true.
No, we have the best lawyers.
We're paying £50 million for Fred. I'm guaranteeing you we're buying the lawyer for Fred.
Listen, hear this, yeah? Remember this, yeah? When we go and attract players, we send out lawyers. Remember that? Co-signed by Evra. We send out lawyers. We got the best lawyers.
Instead of a fucking lawyer, the fit cunts. Oh.
One thing I will say is that obviously a lot of people are saying, yeah, well done, for making sure that this doesn't go through. And a lot of people are doing this good guy, bad guy thing. Obviously, UEFA and FIFA. We have to remember that these people are not good guys.
They're not good guys.
They're not good guys because the reason why they were pissed is because they didn't come up with the idea in the first place.
Or they're not getting the piece of the pie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? And it's ironic because, again, when we're seeing things like Boris Johnson popping up saying, I'm going to intervene. The only reason why that brother was trying to intervene because he wanted a piece of the pie too. He wanted some money in his pocket.
No brown envelope for him.
If a Super League was going to happen, he's thinking, yo, what about me, G? Yo, I can help this. I can make sure it can run if you put some money in my pocket. He was hoping for this to happen. And now it's all been cancelled. I haven't even heard a peep from him. I ain't heard anything from Boris to say, yeah.
Because he's done what he set out to achieve.
But however, but when he did come out with what he said as it stands. What are you saying as it stands for? I think it was a statement. I can't even remember what it was in terms of him saying, we're going to make sure that, this doesn't go through because as it stands, it shouldn't be happening or whatnot. What are you saying, bro? Bro, like, what are you saying as it stands, bro? Let's just go with it, bro. Like, just make sure it doesn't happen. He didn't do anything to say, that, I made a contribution to make sure that this didn't happen. I'm sure he didn't. It was us fans, the so-called pundits, the ex-football players, the current football players, to say, look, listen, we don't want that, bro. We do not want that. And, it's happened. But we got a comment here. Man, like Ready, I'm going to keep you cool and ready. Big up you. Listen, this was a proper power struggle between owners, UEFA, and FIFA. Nobody cares about the fans, of course. The owners wanted more money due to inflation and all. All the same time, they knew that UEFA has billions of spare cash. It is a power struggle. It's always going to be a power struggle. Again, like we said earlier on, UEFA and FIFA, these men have always been corrupt. A lot of people have actually been saying that, if the not a lot of people, the minority, I'm going to say, who were for the Super League, were actually going to say that, if the Super League does happen, corruption would end.
I think I heard about 4 people that were in favour of it.
They were all, you know what it is?
All middle-aged people that just started supporting Man City on TalkSport. That was it.
I'm not against the idea of a Super League.
But I didn't believe there would be a breakaway. They said they were playing in respective leagues.
This is what I mean. I wouldn't mind them reformatting European competitions. I don't think UEFA have done a very good job over these. I think the Champions League's actually gotten worse. And this idea that, I saw the proposal for the new one about how if West Ham were say to finish in the top 4, but Arsenal or Spurs came 5th, then Arsenal and Spurs will go into the Champions League and replace West Ham, even though West Ham finished higher. This is nonsense.
No, it wouldn't. They wouldn't go in as a replacement. They go in as a supplement.
No, apparently it's a replacement. They were talking about it earlier.
There's 2 places for coefficient teams. That's what the rule is.
Yeah, why? I'm serious. You earn your place in the Champions League. Like, if
the two highest placed teams with the 2 teams with the highest coefficients that don't qualify go into. So say if like Real Madrid or Man United miss out, they'd go the 2 highest coefficients.
What's the reasoning for that? If it's not money,
because it was to stop the Super League in the first place. It was to try and I don't know.
That's mad because it's still about money. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
That's what I'm saying. That's the reason. They're all the same. All of them.
Again, I'm with you. I'm with you all. Like, I'm not against trying to change up the Champions League and see how we can make it more exciting and more different. But that whole Super League thing with the breakaway thing, I didn't like that, man. Because could you imagine, you're starting a league, but there's no relegation or anything like that. So what's the fucking point, bro?
I know.
Like,
that's how American sports is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no relegation.
I don't watch American sports.
I do.
No relegation. No relegation. Mm-hmm. As in, teams will be midway through their season, knowing that they can't get to the playoffs, and nothing really happens. You're just playing dead rubbers. But also imagine it because it wouldn't have been a break off completely. So you'd still have Premier League games. So we'd be playing Barcelona on a fucking Wednesday, and it'd be a dead rubber. We'd be 8th from Barcelona, be 6th, and it just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That's what I mean. Don't you just take the magic out of those big games that we usually look forward to? No one wants that.
And that was the problem. That's just long. Imagine, maybe Arsenal Spurs would be sitting there comfortably, last place here, and they're calm because they're gonna get another 350 million the next year. It doesn't make it. There's no. This is the thing that makes a sport. And big up Bielsa. He said, look, listen. The thing that differentiates football from any other sport is the fact that a small team can go out there and big a big team, and they know that I've caused damage here. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That excitement, that passion, that element of surprise, that's what we have in our sport. And yet these people wanted to take that away because they wanted to fill their pockets. And I think that's why a lot of people were so upset. They didn't want to see that from happening. Man like Williams, again, UEFA started this by their new format, okay? A perfect Champions League should be every winner of their league playing each other. It's an elite competition where the best of every league play each other. Okay, fair. How do you guys feel about that?
That's what originally Van Gaal wanted from UEFA, is that, of course, it's called the Champions League for a reason. So you have to live up to your name. It's supposed to be a league of champions, whether that's the champions of England, the champions of the domestic cups, or whatever for their respective league. It's supposed to be like that. And I can.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
But that's what it was until '98, and then they changed it. We were the first team to
I think it was like
finish
top
second
two. It
and
was
win
top
it.
two. Yeah, it was top two.
It was top two. No, it was champion only until '98, and then we were the first team to get in '99 as second, and we won it.
Mad.
Team.
Did you see? So I do get that. I do understand. Look, that could be an option for that to happen, and then you can have a secondary European domestic competition like a Europa League again, where second, third, and fourth can play in that competition. I mean, it can happen, but I don't know how they want to go about it. I don't know how they feel like going about it. But again, right now everything's just about money. Obviously, you had the likes of BT and Sky Sports saying what they were saying and whatnot. This is what I wanted to touch on. Do you think these men are hypocrites? Because these men were the same people who were charging fans $15.99 during the pandemic to watch football.
Exactly.
What's your take on that, man? Because a lot of people were definitely not happy. I mean, yes, they were saying the pundits were saying what they wanted to say. However, they were so contradictory. You understand where I'm coming from? So, what was your take on that, man? Was you happy with how they were saying it, despite the fact that they were charging these fans?
Yeah, but like, look, at the end of the day, I don't think those pundits are the voice of Sky. Like, they represent themselves at the end of the day. They're voicing their own opinions. Sky's just giving them the platform to do so. So it's not. I don't think that a lot of them. I can tell you for a fact that I'd say most of them would have been against that $15.99 charge. But at the end of the day, they don't really have a say what goes on in a Sky boardroom.
For real.
Yeah, that's them, and I guarantee you they would have done it, and they would have bid for it if it came to fruition. But at the end of the day, like, they always will, and even the players that came out, the ex-players came out against it. They 100% would have all commentated on it, because at the end of the day, they've got families to feed and lifestyles to keep up, so they're going to take the money. Like, it's just that's just the way of the world.
Course, man, and that money talks, isn't it? And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people were getting it twisted in terms of, they're actually thinking that the likes of Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Rio Ferdinand, it's like they're looking at them and they're thinking, well, you guys are the one that bumped the prices up. You think them man have gone to BT and Sky and said, by the way, I think you should slap $15.99 for these men to watch the sport on TV.
West Brom versus Sheffield United on a Monday night. Like, you need to charge them 15.
I'm sure because they were all singing it from the same hymn when it was all about the European Super League, all saying they're disgusted and all that kind of stuff. So you never know.
No, Gary Neville doesn't have anything to do with that.
No, he don't. But they were all singing it from the same hymn. Like, they all had the same feeling, the same emotion, the same energy, exactly, and the same reason for why they were against this.
No, Spice, I hear you. I think you know what it is, Spice. I think you're hurt. I think it's hurting you, the fact, because I know you were really, really upset.
I'm upset, man.
But listen, at the end of the day, look, this thing, it's gone now. The question I pose to everyone now: do you think something like this will happen again, or do you feel like something similar is about to come our way with, and maybe UEFA and FIFA are going to implement something?
Well, it's not over yet. Guess the fight isn't over. Like I said, like Rachel said, it's pre-drinks right now, and Perez said this will still go ahead. They're still working on it, so they're probably going to find ways of trying to reason with UEFA, reason with FIFA to try and get this league ahead. It's not done yet, guys. It's not done.
That's what I was saying before, though. Like, I'm not against the idea of a Super League and reforming the Champions League. I'll be cool with UEFA being replaced by something else, because UEFA are corrupt in their own right. So it's not like they have a moral high ground over the Super League anyway. What I don't like is the segregation of the big teams and the small teams, and towards the domestic leagues as well. I don't like that. I don't like the smaller teams and the domestic leagues are going to be screwed over if the Super League happens as they planned it to happen. So I'm cool with the reform of EU competition. I just don't like how they've gone about it, personally.
This competition is kind of mad how they. You know what's so? I'll tell you what got me, the fact that they said, yeah, by the way, guys, we're coming out with something new and it's going to be happening next season. So take it or leave it. I mean, guys, don't you think
The audacity?
Yeah, it was so brazen. It just went, well, we're cowards, like Owen would say. Owen, they're absolute cowards for even implementing such things during a pandemic, bro. Like, how can you allow and you know what's so sad is that these men knew what they were doing. We all knew that something like a Super League was gonna happen, right? Cool. That's fine, cool, no worries. But if you knew like you were gonna do it like this, why couldn't you just say it from the beginning of the season rather than mid-season? Well, not mid, towards the end of the season, and just ruin it for everyone. Because it came to a point when we were watching football on Monday night football or whatnot. I think it was Leeds and Liverpool, and we're thinking, bro, what the fuck are we watching this game for, bro? This is just a friendly. This is just a
Doesn't mean anything.
Wait, I've never celebrated for another team more than when I celebrated for Leeds scoring, because that was just a goal. Mate, that was a goal for football. That was honestly, that was just a goal for football. I was so fucking happy to see Leeds score. I was absolutely delighted. They should have won it as well, man.
Yeah, they should have. They absolutely should have. But I just, like, honestly, like you said at the beginning, yeah, watching, I couldn't even, like, you know, sometimes when United finish playing and they've won, sometimes I like to watch the highlights and go, yeah, that was good. Like, I see like a little mistake, or maybe I saw something like a glimpse of magic or something like that. I couldn't even do that. Like, Rachel, like, come on, like on Sunday when that actually happened, did you even go back to see and watch the game? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't give a fuck. I said, you know what, I'm done.
No, I didn't. I usually rewatch the matches the next day. I haven't rewatched the match. I didn't really care about it, to be honest with you. So
do you see
that says a lot.
Did you see what that did? Spice, where was you at? I know where you were at, man, but just to let people know, like, in terms of how did you feel, man? Like, because that news came out. Did you watch the highlights? Because like everyone says that when United win, I always go back and watch the highlights. Did you even bother?
I did watch Match of the Day. I'm not going to lie to you, because of course I like to see how we won again. You know, when we win, I like to watch it over.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, man, I was able to watch the match. It's just that I was a little bit distracted when the news came out. Even so funny is that even the teams that were involved in this whole Europa Super League, they didn't perform. Chelsea didn't perform yesterday. Liverpool couldn't perform yesterday. I think everyone's been distracted. Even the players. I think it's like everyone else.
They did. Everyone just looked exhausted and fed up. Like, is this actually happening? And shout out to like, obviously, I just wanted to pick you guys' brains out. Like, do you believe in the stories of the likes of Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, you know, confronting Ed Woodward? Because when I see stories like that, I just laugh and think, who actually wrote this? But what do you guys think about that? Well,
I would like to believe it. I can slightly believe it, because Luke Shaw came out on Twitter yesterday. Mark Rashford came out on Twitter. Bruno Fernandes came out as well and said his piece. So I can believe that Harry Maguire, because Harry Maguire is also a Manchester United fan. His whole family is.
And he's a club captain as well, so he's the only one with the authority to do so.
Exactly.
Like, as a captain, you're the only one that's genuinely allowed to walk into the chairman's office or manager's office with a complaint like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I know he's probably angry and pissed off. And when you see Harry Maguire with his big fat slab coming at you, you'll probably feel intimidated. And if I was Goodwood, I would probably resign as well, especially seeing an angry Harry Maguire with his head bobbing around while he's shouting at you and pointing at you. So yeah, I could kind of believe. Look at Elwin. Look at his face.
Disrespectful to the man. That's just harsh. I've got a massive head as well.
But yes, I can believe that it actually did happen. Yeah, you have to. Who would, as a player, would you be happy with your employees?
No.
If they've done that, you'd be like, "What the f is going on here, bro? What am I reading this that we're in a European Super League? You didn't tell me that when I signed. You know what I mean? This is my club. You can't do that. I'm the club captain. I'm the captain of this ship right now, yeah, Ed. You're just a bystander, because I will be here and you can go at the end of the day." See, man, I believe it.
If Bobs was here, you see, look at the things that he'd be saying. That he's got a point. Where was Luke and Harry when Axel Martial actually got rich?
To be fair, Luke Shaw did come out. Luke Shaw did come out.
Yeah, Shaw did come out, Bob.
Very sure of that.
Yeah, a few of the players did come out.
Pretty sure like a lot of United players came out.
Yeah, they did come out.
I'm very sure. Yeah, also Harry had his own problems. Harry had his own problems. So he couldn't really back
Harry
Martial and
definitely also
Rashford.
something out about it.
Thing.
They all did though. They all released statements saying
They
it wasn't.
all 100%.
Yeah, the United Against Racism came out, but it's more like what did the club do for them? Because I know that the club backed Harry Maguire with a big fat statement, but when it came to the players being abused, I love the fact that they done the United Against Racism, but they never came out with proper statements for these players. When Rashford went through his things, they never backed him once with the whole food stamp. When Greenwood, as a young player, a young man who lost his best friend and been attacked by the media, your club should be the one that should step in press conference and tell them to leave them alone, especially even the manager and the owners. They didn't do none of that. They didn't even educate them. They didn't even take them to the side and say, let me educate you.
How do you know what happened behind the scenes?
I can see it, man, by their performance, bro. Mason Green wasn't himself for a good 5 weeks. Jesse Lingard wasn't himself for a good year until he came to his manager.
No. That's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. Let's not make what those two went through personally, and say it was about racism. It was more than that. Like Greenwood lost one of his closest friends to suicide.
Yeah, but it's clear
he was targeted by the media.
Yes, but they did nothing back. The club did nothing about it, honestly speaking. The whole United Against Racism is nice. It's nice, and when you paint it and all that kind of stuff, it's really nice. But what really did happen? I didn't see what really happened. Those guys still got abused the following week.
What are you gonna do? Remove their Twitter accounts? Because you can't stop because there are cunts out there.
Listen, UEFA was looking to ban players from playing for the international team.
But you can't stop racist assholes on Twitter.
No,
They're just going to be there. You just have to block them.
At the end of the day, UEFA was trying to plan a sanction. Why can't Twitter plan a sanction? Why does it take 5 years for you to plan a sanction?
But you know,
UEFA was ready to plan a sanction 24 hours. No, but I'm not talking about that. You can't. You'll never find out. No one's going to say, "Yeah, I'm racist." You know, no one's going to say that. But like I said, UEFA within 48 hours are already planning for a sanction, or a player should be banned. You know, they will not play for their respective national team. It's been since I don't know, since slavery times and all that stuff. Nothing has changed. So please, like I said before, when Manchester United done this United Against Racism, people still got racially abused. People still got racial abuse on their own page.
It's a bigger picture than that. You can't just end racism but with a few statements and a few blocks on Twitter. It's systemic. You've got to teach it from the schools, from upbringing. There's no quick solution to ending racism, man. That's a fact.
Owen, I want to say something right now. You see your energy and your passion right now. That's what I wanted to see from the world. I love the way you felt a bit. I love it.
Unfortunately,
it makes me sick. It pisses me off, mate. That's the only way you're going to do it is through education and from beginning. There's no quick solve to it.
Unfortunately, there's no quick solve. It's just something that we got to carry on fighting. And like Owen said, you got to start from young, man, because it happens, innit? These people get taught to be racist. You're not born racist.
Exactly.
No one's born racist. You're nurtured into being a racist. It just happens, unfortunately. And we've got to put a stamp to it. There's ways of doing it, but I'm sure we'll get there. It's never going to be eradicated. I know that for a fact. But the more voices, the better. Big up Worldwide Red Show. Big up Man Utd from the States. He's actually saying that if you guys believe that the players and coach had no idea, then he has a property in South Dakota on Selfie Chief. Look, basically what he's trying to say is that he doesn't believe the fact that the players and the manager had no idea about the Super League.
I didn't.
Now,
they didn't. Paolo Maldini came out.
What does he mean though? Sorry, what does he mean? Does he mean at all, or does he mean that they didn't know they were going to release a statement? Because I doubt from the reactions of the managers and the players, it didn't look like they knew that it was going to be announced on the weekend. I'm sure they've heard of the Super League, but I don't think they knew it was going to happen.
We all heard about the Super League many years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like they did.
No, it's true. No, I hear you. I'd like to know. What do you mean? Like, are you saying like they knew about the statement coming out, or did they just know in general? Let me know what you think about that. Man, like Luke Willis be saying, PSG president has taken over the ESA.
What's the ESA?
The ECA is the
ECA. Sorry, my
Oh,
bad.
it's the ECA.
Yeah.
Oh, the European Commission Association. What's that mean?
It's basically it's the one that all 12 Super League clubs removed themselves from in order to
do their thing.
So it's a bit of a coincidence that PSG didn't leave. He's still massively involved with UEFA. His name is like Al Khalifi or whatever his name is. So
which is the point that he's made here. The only reason why PSG didn't join the ESL is because it was owned by true.
Totally
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because obviously the World Cup's in Qatar. Man saying, look, listen, I'm not getting.
Look at another corruption. FIFA, they selected Qatar and moved the World Cup from the summer to winter because of money. They can't talk as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All of those.
All those people.
They're all as bad as one another, man. All of them are as bad. Even the boards of even the Premier League, they're all as bad as one another, man. You don't become a billionaire or a millionaire without doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's one of them things. He's actually replied. He said, "How did they not know about the Super League when we've heard about it?" But I agree, they didn't know about the announcement. It's the fact that they all act as if the Super League isn't something we've heard of for time. No, I get that. I get where you're coming from, but what we're saying is that they genuinely didn't know that it was actually going to happen next season. Number one, they genuinely didn't know about how the format was going to be, how it's structured, it was some sort of breakaway. I actually genuinely think that these managers and players had no idea.
You can tell.
You can tell from it's actually genuine. Like to say that. Look, when you saw the likes of, for example, Jurgen Klopp, when he was actually having a rant saying, "Yeah, look, Neville can't. I don't know what Neville's talking about and whatnot." I thought he wanted to run up on Gary Neville on Monday Night Football. Like I actually thought he wanted to bang him. It's like, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about you never walk alone. What did you know about you never walk alone? I thought, wow, yo, Klopp, you could tell. You understand what I'm saying? They interviewed Ollie. Ollie said, "Look, you know how Ollie is. He'll smile, innit?" And he'd be like, "I had no idea. I don't know what you're talking about."
No, Ollie's on weed. He smiles through bad times.
He said, "Let's just talk about the game because that's all I know, man."
Wait,
that's what I know.
Oh yeah, Ollie did have. Sorry, I didn't even see the interview, Ollie. Sorry.
Yeah, it was literally brief, Rachel. Just quick. Like, look, I ain't got a clue. So listen, you're asking the wrong person. But look, even Milner, I think it was Milner even said it. He said, "Look, it's trash. I'm not happy about it." These managers and players, they had no clue, and they're the ones who are going to be suffering the most, man. Like, if that was to even happen, people out here, man already said boycott the World Cup, human rights violated, so corruptions here, corruptions there. Of course, it's easy to say boycott the World Cup, but we all love football, man.
It's easy for me, mate.
Ireland
yeah, so everything's Irish, isn't it?
Ireland definitely ain't qualifying. We lost to Luxembourg, mate.
That still hurts you to this day.
Yes, it does, mate. If United lost to fucking York City, it would. We did years ago, but if United lost to Barnet, it would hurt me.
No. I know like that Sheffield loss still hurts me to this day as well.
No, for real, I hear you. I do hear you, man. Like, it is painful, isn't it? I don't think we could ever, like, a lot of people say, yeah, the only thing I can say we can boycott, maybe the merchandises, our tickets or whatnot. Do you guys actually think, like, I know already you're going to the march and big up you. Do you actually think, like, in terms of season ticket holders, if it really came down to it, right, and this ESL thing was actually going to happen, do you think a lot of them would have pulled out and said, "I'm not renewing my season ticket, I don't even want to be part of it"?
Look, I wouldn't have personally renewed my season ticket, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, as sad as I am to say that, because you lost 5,000 fans in the setup of the FC United of Manchester, and it didn't make a fucking ounce of a difference. And you've just got it's just quite sad to be honest, mate. But in terms of you're looking now and you've seen there's a talk of a 51 plus rule coming in for season ticket holders in the future. So it's any decision that was made in the club. There's an interview of Andy Burnham, who's the mayor of Manchester. So any decision made in the club has to go through all the season ticket holders, like a vote, and you have to have 50 plus 1% of that to get past anything, so any like major decisions, which would be a massive bit of legislation if it manages to come through. But like you're gonna have, I'm going up on Saturday, as you said. Like you're gonna have probably a couple of thousand outside Old Trafford on Saturday, all in green and yellow, all singing and chanting because we want it out. We want our club back. We're going to make our voices heard. Whether or not it makes a difference, you know, it remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, I'd much rather go up and try and, you know, let my voice be heard than sit on my ass and scratch and tweet about it and complain about it. In my mind, I say I've got to try and do something because I'm losing what I love.
And let them know that Ivorian Spice says that you men suck as well, yeah? So you best scream for me as well. You best scream for me. I can't be there, but you're going to be there. You represent me as well.
Don't worry about it. I'll be screaming loud as fuck. Don't worry about that.
Thank you for that, Owen. Rachel, your 2 sentences before we leave. How happy are you? Are you happy, or are you just, again, on the fence? And are you looking forward to our next game on the weekend?
Who are we playing on the weekend?
Leeds.
Oh, so, you know what? I don't even know. I'm cool. Like, I'm just gonna see how it goes. I don't really know. Like, do you know what it is? I don't want to be all excited about Woodward leaving and then something bad happens, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I know people want to ride the wave, but I have no faith in this club. So until the Glazers are gone, it's just pre-drinks, as I said, guys. So we have to get the Glazers out, and then we can start celebrating and partying and whatnot. That's how I view it with United at the moment.
Oh, fair enough. And yeah, we have got Leeds on the weekend. It's Sunday at 2 p.m. Spice, what are you telling me, man? Are you feeling alright? The game before we round up.
How I feel about it, I feel like we will probably beat Leeds again, you know. I'm hoping that we thrash them like we did at Old Trafford, but I can see us probably just winning narrowly by 2-3-1. And how am I feeling so far? I'm in a good mood because that news for Woodward potentially leaving has put me in good spirits, man. It's giving me hope that we might get our club back. The next step is getting rid of the Glazers permanently, you know. If we want to give them the chair, I would happily sign a petition for that as well. Just let me know.
The chair?
The chair, you know, the chair. The chair. Yeah, the electric chair, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's a bit harsh, mate. Like,
Elwin, you know me. I'm harsh, innit?
I mean, I've sung some harsh songs in my time at away days, but I mean, that's a bit harsh.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, before we duck as well, thoughts on the game on Sunday against Leeds. We can care about it now because obviously when there's no more ESL, hopefully. But yeah,
if that announcement hadn't come last night, I wouldn't give a fuck about the game this weekend.
I know. Hence why I
probably wouldn't even watch it. But it's Leeds, big rivalry with Leeds. I've got a couple of mates that are Leeds fans, so I'll definitely be watching it. So I'll be getting back down from Manchester Saturday night, so I'll have a stern hangover Sunday morning. So I'll get straight back on it, watch the United game, and be sore for work on Monday, and hopefully a 2-0 away from home because Ellen Road's always tough with or without fans.
Well, hopefully we get the results that we want. I'm going to go with Owen as well. I'm going to say 2-0 United. I think we can get the job done, man. But it's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be a very, very tough one. But you know how it goes down, man. That was the United show. We've done an hour and it's just flown by because we've had a lot to say on this podcast. Rachel, let the people know where they can find you, please.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Devil's Avocado. And you can find me on YouTube channel, The First XI. Got Grounded Football on tonight, so it should be interesting.
Jeez, fucking Rachel, always on point. Spice, telling me, what you telling me, man? Let the people know where they can find you.
As always, guys, you'll find me here live and direct every Wednesday. You get me, whether it's 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. But of course, you remember to subscribe to this show and also remember to subscribe to Red United TV. That's where you'll find me. Monday going live on the podcast every Monday around 8 o'clock. Obviously, you remember to follow the socials as well. Red United TV, one for the Instagram, and also remember to follow my own personal Instagram account, which is @Ivorian_Spice. And as always, guys, big up Bitz and Bobs. since he's not here.
No, cuss him. He left us.
Owen, let the people know where they can find you as well, my bro.
Yeah, big up Bitz. He's obviously looking after Bobby Jr. now, so can't no, Cockney Red 99 on YouTube. Be doing a show this Friday, so if you could tune in, that'd be lovely. I'm on all socials. And I'll be Owen Roch1 on my Instagram, spelt like that, the very weird Irish way. And you'll be seeing me going absolutely mental on Saturday up at the protest outside the Trinity statue.
Nice.
Representing, you know, the ones there. And you know how it goes down. It's your boy Beeks. You know how it goes. Yeah, on over here you can see I got it right, mad. It is what it is. YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. You see the orange logo. I'm there. I'm everywhere. You know how it is. But yeah, we are going to sign out and let the people have a lovely night. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It is what it is. Shout out.